said no the first time he asked me out. Hi guys! Today's video is inspired by a channel on YouTube called Jubilee. Basically, we're both going to share our love story. That sounds so cringe. He's gonna share his perspective with me wearing earphones with music playing. So we're gonna be hearing like each other's perspective and see how they differ.
So the other person will know what you're saying?
Yes.
Oh.
And then at the end, you guys will see how we saw each other in the beginning of a relationship. So I had my best friend Alicia send me a few questions just so that there would be the element of surprise for both of us.
What's it eating?
Dude, you look so stiff. You're like, what's it eating? Okay, my first impression of him was when you came into Melvin's birthday party and immediately saw his height, immediately saw that you were very cute and you had an eternal smile on your face, and I thought that you had a very friendly face. And it turns out it's true, you're very friendly to everyone that you meet. I hate you. You hate me? Yeah. Okay, your turn.
So my first impression of Titan was that she was a bit hard to read because, you know, she has that resting bitch face. Right? Because of that, it was a bit scary, like, talking to her.
Wait, the music just stopped for a while and I heard a bit scary.
Yeah, I was a bit scared to talk to her, honestly, because she was my first girlfriend ever, but it all turned out really well. You know, she's really smart, beautiful, thoughtful, and been together a long time now.
We've been together a long time now. My favorite memory of you would be maybe when we went on a road trip to the US. Traveled for 3 weeks straight. We went to both East Coast and West Coast and we got to learn a lot about each other just traveling together, and we laughed a lot. We had a lot of inside jokes that happened. We also drove for like hours and hours and we just only had each other. We only had each other as company, so we actually vlogged the whole road trip. I'll link it down below. We really developed as a couple because we also argued.
Okay, then what?
But at the same time, we also loved harder. I'm not satisfied with this answer!
Okay, so my favorite memory of us, I would say, is when we had our first date. We went to this restaurant called Disgruntled Chef. This funny thing happened. Basically, we ordered a dish. It was like a sharing dish, so we had to split the meat. I told her to cut it, and she cut it into like 3 different pieces. So are we gonna reach that awkward stage where it's gonna be 1 piece left? No one's gonna dare to eat the last piece. I told her straight, like, why did you cut it in 3 pieces? 4 pieces would have made a lot more sense.
That was one of my favorite memories as well because I remembered he was so polite to me, but at that one moment on the first date, he dared to tease me a little bit, which at that moment I knew that I could date him because I can't date someone that can't tease me back. Aren't you confused why I can...
Yeah, I'm confused why she can decipher everything I'm saying right now.
I'm trying really hard to read your lips. So our love story is kind of unique because we don't have a specific anniversary date, because he actually asked me out like 1 week after we started texting. We met at my friend's birthday party, so he sent me home that night. I want to say the rest is history, but it didn't really go down that way because at that time I was still not ready for a relationship at all because I had just gotten out of one and I was still in a very like single girl woohoo phase. So I still wanted to like date around and see which guy was like the best for me. I'm his first girlfriend, so he was pretty slow with his advances and he was pretty shy, so I'm not really used to a guy that's not aggressive. I kind of dated someone else while he was chasing me because he was just chasing me like very slowly, and then when that ended, started texting again as friends, and then he asked me out on one date, and then he asked me to be his girlfriend a week later. I actually said no the first time he asked me out, and then I said ask me later because I'm not ready yet. So fast forward 2 months, we just gradually naturally fell in love with each other, and then yeah, we just chose a date. And the date that we chose was the date that I said no to him.
It all started from this Instagram photo I saw, and she was with about 3 other girls in this photo. And I was like, whoa, this girl is hot. She's cute at the same time. So like, yeah, like I want to get to know her, you know? So my friend happened to have a birthday party. She was invited. I was invited, and that's when we first met actually face to face and talked to each other for the first time. So after the party, you know, we exchanged numbers, we started texting and all that. Fast forward to another night, I think it was like only a week after the birthday party. I did ask her out like to be my girlfriend. But then she said, ask me later. In my mind, I was a bit confused. I couldn't really read like the context of the situation. But turns out, you know, she was actually with someone else at that time, which is why she said that to me in the first place. So ever since, I've never actually asked her to be my girlfriend.
He said I love you first, and I wanted to say it first, but me being the woman with ego, I didn't want to be first to say it because of course the feeling of being afraid that he wouldn't say it back to me. So at this point in time, I realized that I loved him when we would like say cuddle, and then I would look at him deep into the eyes, and then I would think like, I love you, but then I wouldn't dare to say it. Every time he would stare back deep into my eyes also, I always thought this is the moment he's gonna say he loves me, but then he never does. He always like looks at me, stares at me, and then says something stupid like, I'm hungry. And I'm like, shit, when is it gonna happen? So one night on this very bed, that night was really, really hot, that my AC was like not working. And then we turned off all the lights. It was pitch dark. And then we were just talking in the dark. It was just kind of this tangible presence in the air. Like I could just feel this love is in the air thing. And it was like, I knew it was gonna come. But then I was also wrong so many nights before, so then I also didn't want to expect anything. I think it also helped that it was very dark, so even though we were looking at each other, we couldn't see each other. He suddenly out of nowhere said, man, I'm really hot and I love you too. And then I was like, what? I was like so shocked because he said I love you too. So I wondered whether I accidentally told him I love him in the previous months, maybe when I was sleeping. But then I was like, what? What did you say? What did you mean I love you too? And then he said, dude, do you really want me to explain it? And I'm like, explain it, please. And then he meant like, I'm really hot, as in from the AC, and I love you too. So he combined it in one sentence. And then I was like, oh my god, you are such a dork. Even the first time you tell me you love me, it's so dorky. So I immediately said, I love you too. I went like that, and we kissed, and done. Okay, your turn.
So we were in her room in Jakarta, and you know, the light was all dark and stuff. We were laying on the bed. I decided to tell her right at that moment that I loved her. The room was really, really hot as well at that time. We were basically, you know, kind of sweaty and stuff. And we were lying next to each other. Then I was like, Gaius, do it, do it, do it. But I kind of messed up. This is the exact words I used to say that I loved her. Basically, it's really hot and I love you. She was kind of confused with like, what? Whoa, it's really hot and I love you. In my mind, I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I did that. I didn't just say I love her, but I told her it's really hot and I love her. That's pretty much history. She always makes fun of me because of that. Don't regret saying it.
Okay guys, that is all for the video. I don't know how long it's gonna be. It's better to have said sweet stuff.
Pretty sure some of our stories are the same.
Because we always talk about this stuff too. Like we always like to be nostalgic and look back.
And tease each other.
Mostly me teasing you.
Yeah. Worried. Ah, no.
Bye bye. Don't forget to comment down below what was your favorite part of today's video. Bye. I love you.
Bye.
Hold up.